Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC and this is Blue Lines TV. Welcome to another Chelsea Transfer Daily video. You guys, I've got a few stories to talk about. I'm going to be talking about Kepa and the new reports surrounding him. I'm going to be talking about Kovacic as well. And they're the two main stories I'm going to be focusing on. Yes, I do have opinions and news on guys like Courtois and Jack Butland as well, so stay tuned for that. But you guys, before I get straight into things, you know what to do. Help me get more than 1,000 likes for today's video. And smash that bell notification button as well, you guys, to stay tuned to every new notification that pops up on my channel. But getting straight down to things, starting with news and reports surrounding Kepa. Kepa is a goalkeeper that does play for Athletic Bilbao in Spain, and he does have a pretty big reputation. He's seen as a very highly rated goalkeeper in La Liga. So these reports are definitely interesting, and I can confirm to you guys that yes, it's 100% genuine interest. It's not some bullshit thing made up to try and get, his agent to get, clubs interested in his client or anything like that. Now with Kepa, he does have a buyout clause of 80 million because he only signed a new long-term contract not too long ago. So basically 80 million euros is about 71 million pounds. And if you really think about it like this, he's going to cost us 1 to 2 million extra compared to what we would have had to have paid for Alisson from Roma. So in a sense, you guys, it really lets you know the desperation happening at Chelsea right now. Now, why am I saying that? Well, that's because Kepa really hasn't been a long-term target from the club whatsoever, and he seems to be a very recent and new development. Now, Sarri does know Kepa. While Sarri was at Napoli, Kepa was looked at as a replacement for Pepe Reina because, Pepe Reina is 34 years old, and it's natural that Napoli, they like to target young players, up-and-coming players that they can get a very big chance of value for. Now, Real Madrid were actually very close to signing him beforehand, but that deal did collapse due to disagreements between Zinedine Zidane at the time and Florentino Perez. Now, the reports are coming out for Marca, and they're the ones really pushing this story, and they're stating that Chelsea will be offering him terms of a 5.5 million year contract a season, as well as a 5-year deal on top of that. Now, if you guys aren't too sure about Athletic Bilbao, if you didn't know, they only ever use Basque players. Now that either means you're a player that's been born in the city or you have family that originally originate from the area. So for Athletic Bilbao, it wouldn't even be a case of them trying to sign a replacement as they already have 2 backup goalkeepers. So one of those backup goalkeepers would potentially get the first team role. Reports coming out as stating that Kepa will like the move to Chelsea. He isn't going to force anything. He's not going to try and obviously skip training or force a transfer. You guys, it's very, very simple. If you're not too sure about Athletic Bilbao, if you want to sign their players, you have to meet their buyout clause. Look at Laporte, for example. Another recent example too was Javi Martinez. That's the only way they do business. So if Chelsea are serious and want to sign him, you can't negotiate. Offer the buyout clause and that's it. You can get your man. And that does make sense if you really think about it, especially in regards to the timing of these developments, because we really don't have much time to negotiate any transfer fees. And with Kepa, the guy has a very big reputation. But anyway, it's still pretty crazy to think that our potential record signing will be a goalkeeper. But one of the most important things is the fact that if you sign this guy, you can finally let Courtois leave. He's on a second day OL. I will be giving my thoughts and opinions on the story and the recent developments in regards to Chelsea and Real Madrid. So stay tuned in this video. Make sure you watch it right to the end. Now, you guys, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on this recent development. Now, one thing we must realize is that yes, Kepa is a sweeper keeper. He's got fantastic distribution out from the back, and distribution and passing ability is a key component when it comes to what Sarri wants to do. Pepe Reina was very good at starting a lot of attacks. All of the goalkeepers we're looking at are goalkeepers that can pass the ball and are very good at distributing out from the back. And in a sense, he kind of looks pretty similar to David De Gea type of goalkeeper. Yes, very acrobatic. He does like to be very eccentric, which would be pretty fun to see for fans. But again, as I keep stressing, it's that passing asset and that passing ability which you desperately need. Now, Caballero is decent when it comes to that, and I think he makes sense as the backup goalkeeper. But you're getting a guy that's effectively an upgrade player, and he's 23 years old. He's got a lot of time and room to grow and develop. And in regards to goalkeeping targets, it makes a ton of sense. Nowhere will Chelsea spend that type of money for someone like Jordan Pickford when, his reputation is still growing. I don't think he's a top-class goalkeeper just yet, even though he has shown some promise and had a decent World Cup, if I must be serious. And with Areola as well, his agent is Mino Raiola. You guys know Mino Raiola. I'm always stressing this. Chelsea and Mino don't have a good relationship, meaning that it's going to be extremely difficult to try and negotiate with him to sign any of his targets. And we have to be serious. If you're replacing Courtois, I'm sorry, you don't replace Courtois for someone like Jack Butland. People keep talking about young English talent. The guy's 25 years old, 1 year younger compared to Courtois. That's not the type of guy that we need at Chelsea, in my opinion. Kepa seems like the real deal. Now, I'm going to spend more time trying to look into the player and study him a bit more. I'm basing all my opinions on player comps and things I have seen and asking around, asking specific people to their thoughts and opinions on him. And when it comes to the player, stylistically, yes, he complements Sarri perfectly. But you guys, I can confirm he is the current first choice target for the goalkeeping position that Chelsea are looking at and trying to get a deal done. But it does raise interesting questions in regards to how we failed to sign Alisson. We're potentially signing someone who I don't think is as good as Alisson, even though he's a very good goalkeeper. I think Alisson's at the cream of the top, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He's going to cost more money too. And really, it's another sad indictment in terms of, people at the board level and how we deal with our transfer activity when it comes to negotiations and stuff. You guys, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. When it came to Alisson, how many times had we held talks with Roma and his agent and the player? It's no surprise that Liverpool came in very, very aggressively to get this thing wrapped up. You guys, players want their stability sorted quickly. They want to perform in pre-season and get fully match fit. The way Chelsea do things in terms of, delaying things and delaying transfer negotiations isn't good enough. And you guys, in a future live stream, I will be discussing things in greater detail, so you can't afford to miss out on that. But you guys, Kepa's a worthy successor to Courtois in my opinion, and that's the type of player that we need. Now, just to give the brief news on Butland and Courtois, Jack Butland is effectively the second choice target in case anything fails when it comes to trying to sign Kepa. And stylistically, yes, he is a ball-playing goalkeeper on top of that as well. And I feel he'd be that transition goalkeeper where, yes, you'd sign him for the year, potentially he could become the backup goalkeeper in the future, and then you try to sign a worthy successor to Courtois for the following season. Reports are coming out that a bid of 25 million is all you would need to pay for to try and sign Butland. But I keep saying it, you guys, it is an L on Chelsea's part. Now, I know a lot of people are very angry and upset with Courtois, but we've got to realise and really think, you guys, you know what? Chelsea have promised this guy to leave many months beforehand. They already knew he'd be leaving. They have given him the blessing on top of that. It's not Courtois' fault, in my opinion, that he is going on strike to make sure this deal goes through. In my opinion, it's not fair that Chelsea could potentially try to keep him for another season due to being shit in the transfer market. That's just the honest facts. And of course, it's logical Courtois will be going on strike to really force through to Chelsea. You're selling me this window. No bullshit, no ifs, no buts. And I wouldn't be surprised if Real Madrid have told Courtois to really try and take things in his own hands and really try to apply more pressure to Chelsea. You guys, to be serious, Alisson should have been the goalkeeper we signed. Courtois should have signed for Real Madrid already. It's not good on Chelsea's part that he's still here and it's taken to the final few days of the transfer window. But you guys, this falls in nicely to the other big story, and that's in regards to Mateo Kovacic. Now you guys, it looks like Real Madrid will be signing Courtois for 35 million, 5 million short of Chelsea's asking fee, which is 40 million. But this is where Kovacic does come into play, because it looks like with that 5 million that Madrid won't be playing, that's going to be offset in regards to allowing Kovacic to sign for Chelsea on loan for the season. And in a sense, it makes sense for all parties. Number one, Real Madrid still control the player, meaning that they can get a transfer value for him for next season. Kovacic gets regular game time on top of that. And for the third reason, Sarri gets that number 8 that he does want at Chelsea. And of course, there's another fourth reason on top of that. That means that we won't be pursuing Vecino from Inter Milan. And when you think about it, that's 35 million pounds that we're saving. The 35 million we're earning from Courtois, the 35 million we're saving can go straight into trying to sign Kepa from Athletic Bilbao. And Kovacic has been very vocal and adamant that he wants out of Real Madrid. And reports were coming out stating that he was very close to going on strike and not actually going to the training camps to really force a move away. So it really makes sense from Real Madrid's side. You know what? Let's allow Kovacic to sign to Chelsea. You know what? Don't pay any loan fee. That 5 million we're saving, you can have him for free. It makes a lot of financial sense. Now, Kovacic only started 11 La Liga games last season and came on as a sub 10 times. he isn't playing enough football. Of course, whilst he was at the World Cup with Croatia, he didn't start many games at all. And it's getting to that point where, Kovacic has always been seen as the future of Croatia, one of their most talented players. He isn't getting enough game time. It's a bit similar to a Ruben Loftus-Cheek situation in my opinion. And you guys, it's not the first time Chelsea have been looking at Kovacic, so they understand the type of player he is, really making this move even more logical. Of course, it does bring up interesting questions in regards to the futures of Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Ross Barkley, in particular with Ruben, which I will be speaking about in greater detail in the future. It seems like he might not get the chance. Like you guys, I've always been stating that there's a massive possibility that Ruben can still leave throughout this window, and in my opinion, I think it is a real shame. I kind of see it like this, Kovacic, for me, since he has played in a deeper role in midfield, he has excelled more. I think it does suit his strengths even more. The guy is a very tenacious player. He likes to play a lot of short passes as well. His passing distribution is very great on top of that. And I think he makes more sense as a deep line playmaker, and it was no surprise why Man City were looking at him as a potential replacement for Fernandinho exactly for that same position. But still, let's not forget, whilst he was at Inter Milan, he did play as more of an advanced playmaker. So he does have that in his locker, but it brings up interesting questions in regards to the fact that Sarri preferred to really develop a lone player than someone that's already owned by the club. Still, that doesn't mean that I don't think that Kovacic can perform in that role. I just think that it might take him a bit of time to really get to steam again, because you guys, if you look at his last season, he didn't score a single goal for Real Madrid. You guys should know me. I'm not the type of guy that really rates a player based on the goals they scored. As I've said, I've just explained to you that Kovacic is a deep line playmaker. So in that sense, it's no surprise he hasn't scored any goals, especially when he's not even playing that much. But I still feel that we do need someone that does have a goal threat. Yes, I know guys like Hamsik weren't getting 15 goals or 10 goals a season, but he still had that goal threat. And I look at that midfield, if it's Jorginho, Kante and Kovacic, I don't know if they'll provide that much support offensively when it comes to taking responsibility in front of goal. And it's always good to have an asset like this. Yes, I know that Sarri played a certain way at Napoli, but he's at Chelsea now. And with the stability and the infrastructure he has at Chelsea, he can really upgrade his whole footballing philosophy. And of course, that's something that Sarri would like to do. I mean, see it like this, Napoli have always been very close to securing the league title. Imagine if someone like Hamsik got another 7 goals on top of that. Those 7 goals potentially could have won Napoli how many more points, because in the end, they only lost out to the Scudetto by only a few points. So you guys remember this for Chelsea, but not Napoli. We do things bigger, we do things better. You guys, that's going to end today's Transfer Daily video. Tune in later for the watch along for the Lyon game and for the match will be right afterwards. You guys are going to have a very busy day. Thank you for watching. I'm the EFC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.